Welcome to my Toronto condo market report for October 2021. We have seen 5 months of declining sales in Toronto. Does this spell doom for the market? Let's take a look. So taking a look at the numbers, September was actually a very busy month. There were over 9,000 properties that were bought and sold in the city. This is actually the third highest month overall, but it's actually down 18% from September of last year. And what we've seen, March was the absolute peak in the market. This was the most number of sales that occurred. And we've seen sales continue to decrease every month for 5 consecutive months. Now, does this spell doom for the market? Well, September was actually 5% higher than August, so we are starting to see that trend reverse. But the real story here is the lack of listings in the marketplace. New listings in September were 34% lower than last year, and active listings are down almost 50%. So while the media likes to talk about affordable housing, the question I'm asking is, why aren't people selling their homes or their properties? And talking to other agents and clients, I found 2 main reasons. Number 1, retirement savings. Most people just simply aren't getting a pension anymore from the government, from their jobs. If they're going to save for retirement, they need to do it themselves. And many Canadians move through 3, 4, 5 different homes throughout their life as their financial situations change, as their household makeup changes. And most of the time to do that, you would have had to sell your existing property to buy the new one. What's happening many times now is people are keeping both properties, one that they're going to live in and one that they're actually going to rent out. They're becoming landlords, they're investing in real estate. So they're not selling that property, they're starting to build wealth through that property. And they're going to rent it out for the next 5, 10, 30 years, and that's going to become their retirement savings and their pension. And number 2, moving costs are just simply too high. For a $1 million home in Toronto, it costs about $33,000 in land transfer taxes alone. And that's if you can even find a home for $1 million. Most things under $1 million are complete gut jobs or almost knockdowns. You're going to have to do at least a $300,000 renovation in order to actually live in that home and bring it up to today's standards. Most people simply can't afford that. So what are they doing? They're staying put. And instead they're renovating their homes. We saw this through COVID. It really started to boom. And with affordability being challenged by a lot of people, this is going to happen more and more often. That $33,000, that can buy you a lot. That can be a new pool. That can be a garage instead of just moving locations. So a lot of people are choosing that option instead of selling their properties. They're just staying put. Condos, especially in the downtown core, were hit especially hard during COVID. And we've seen a complete recovery in the downtown core, but what we're starting to see is that prices are really starting to skyrocket there. And there's really 3 reasons for this. The first one is the price gap. The price gap between low-rise housing and condos in the city has widened significantly. We've talked about this in other markets like Etobicoke, but we've really seen this now in Toronto in the city, where low-rise housing is just simply so expensive when you compare it to condo pricing. And that price gap always has to narrow. So I don't think low-rise housing prices are going to come down. So instead, condo prices need to come up. We've seen it time and time again, and this is something that's going to happen, especially in the downtown core and really throughout all of Toronto and even the GTA, because low-rise houses shot up so quickly, so fast, condos are going to follow suit. Number 2, there was simply a complete overreaction to COVID. There was a mass exodus from the downtown core, and I understand why people moved away. There wasn't much to do. You were under lockdown. It was not a good living situation. People wanted more space, and I respect that and I get that. But this is a short-term issue that we're dealing with. COVID will resolve, and I absolutely guarantee people are going to be returning to the core. People want excitement. They want nightlife. We are social animals as humans. People crave that. And that downtown energy, the excitement, that is absolutely going to return, and we are starting to see that. If you think employers are going to be 100% work from home, you are kidding yourself. Many industries and many employers are absolutely going to require that their employees return to the office. Now, you might get to work from home 1 or 2 days a week, but I think going into the office is going to be mandatory for most people out there. And commutes are absolutely going to get worse. Try driving anywhere in the city now. It is next to impossible. And this is before there is that complete return. Jays games at maximum capacity, Leafs games, all of that sort of nightlife returning. People are going to be begging to be in the downtown core again, and you're going to see prices jump up even more than they are now. And number three, affordability. A lot of people predicted that small units like small one bedrooms and studios were going to die. People weren't going to buy them, they weren't going to be built anymore. We've seen a huge resurgence in these types of properties because, number one, they tend to be much more affordable than larger units. On a cost per square foot basis, yes, they're more expensive, but overall, they can be significantly cheaper than other types of units. And this might be the only way for people to get into the market and stepping onto the property ladder. And number two, a lot of people moved out to the 905, to other parts of Ontario. They actually need crash pads in the city now for those 3 or 4 days that they're going to have to go into the office. So it's just a place for you to sleep. You're going to be in the office otherwise. So they're just buying the smallest possible units in order to keep the purchase price down and the ongoing monthly costs down as well. So there's been a huge resurgence in these units, and they're going to continue to be very popular for this foreseeable future. Now, we've seen a lot more interest for condos downtown, and what's happened is sales have actually increased about 15% overall. However, new listings are down over 40%, and active listings are down almost 60%. Prices are only up about 8% now, and I think that's going to continue to accelerate through the rest of the year. Active listings tell the story. There's just no supply, but there's more and more demand piling in every day. So downtown condos, I still think, are an amazing investment. Now let's switch over to the rental market. In downtown Toronto, there are about 1,700 units rented in September. Now that might sound a lot, but by the end of the month, there were just under 1,900 units available to be rented. This means that there's about a 1 month supply of inventory on the marketplace. That is a very, very tight market. So what does this mean? Rental prices are going to continue to go up. And as more and more interest happens for condos in the downtown core, you're going to see that continue to accelerate. I think people are kidding themselves about this cheap rent that happened during COVID. Once immigration comes back, once international students come back as well, you're going to see the rent skyrocket month over month. So September 2021 was a great time to be a real estate investor again in downtown Toronto. You had increasing prices, increasing rents, increased demand, and very limited inventory in the marketplace. Still an amazing time to invest in the downtown core. There are fantastic pre-construction opportunities that are available, many with extended deposit structures available. If downtown's out of your price point, then there are other opportunities in the GTA that are more affordable, or you can consider other locations like Calgary that are a fraction of the price. Please reach out and I can tell you about the opportunities that are available.